What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Tank Be Chopping, and I'm coming at y'all with another haircut tutorial. So what we finna do on this cut, we're gonna do a number 4 on top, we're gonna taper them up, and we're gonna line up the chin strap. Let's go. Alright, so first thing is first, I got my number 4 guard on my Babyliss Custom FX, and as you can see, I'm going over the top. I'm getting all that hair down to the desired length. And once again, guys, we're going against the grain, across the grain. We're just going every which way just to make sure we get down all these loose hairs and get it all down to that same length. So what I like to do on my tapers is 9 times out of 10, I take the sides a little lower. So I have my number 3 guard on there now, but it is opened all the way up. So it's basically like a 3.5, and I'm coming up right to that parietal ridge and flicking out. All right, so now I got my Babyliss custom trimmers. And as you can see, I'm lining them up behind the ear. Well, you really can't see, but that's what I'm doing. Y'all know I like to line up behind the ear first when I start my tapers. So I decided to hit the back of that chin strap a little bit just to give it some type of shape so I can see what we're working with. And I'm gonna actually go ahead and start his C-cup. And I'm doing this because when you line this up to the chin strap, you know, it's a thinner piece. You know, that chin strap is not as thick as the beard. So I want to go ahead and line that up so I can see, basically put this picture in the frame and where I can see where I need to work to make sure this fade looks good. Now I'm setting in my bald guideline. I'm using the same trimmers, and I'm gonna go ahead and set this in like a half circle shape, and I'm gonna follow this shape with every guideline. So this is my first initial guideline, and I'm gonna go over this with my razor just to take it down the skin. And like I said, I'm just gonna follow that shape for the rest of the taper. So now my lever is all the way open, and I'm gonna come up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And towards the top of that, I'm gonna make sure I'm flicking out, that way I don't leave too harsh of a line. And I'm still following that same shape. And as you can see, I'm adjusting my lever halfway, and I'm gonna come up right below what I just did. And then I'm gonna close my lever all the way and try to flick out that bottom line. And then I may start adjusting my lever in between this just to start doing some small detail work. I didn't really like the way the taper was looking so far, so I said, you know what, let me detail a little bit while I'm already here.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
This is my number 1 guard. And I got my lever all the way open, and I'm coming up another 3/4 of an inch to an inch, following that same shape, and I'm flicking out towards the top of that next guideline. So remember, guys, I like to set my next guideline in and then fade down to try to get that bottom guideline out. So now my lever is closed, and I'm flicking that bottom guideline. This is my 1.5 guard. Same thing, lever is open. Coming up another section, and I'm flicking out towards the top of that blend. And as you can see, I'm going over it quite a bit just to make sure it's consistent. It's all down to that length. I adjusted my lever close, and I started topping the bottom of the previous guideline. So this is my number 3 guard. My lever is closed, and I'm attacking the top of that taper, cleaning up behind the ears, removing that bulk. A lot of times we don't clean up behind the ears, guys, and I want to stress that we need to take that down a little bit. You know, you don't need to have that the same exact length as everything else. I always take mine down a little bit just to make sure he has no overhang. So since we did that with the 3, now I have my number 2 guard on there, and I'm fading down. There was still a line right there, so I'm using that 2 guard to try to get rid of them dark areas. And I'm doing the same thing. As you can see, I'm still coming behind the ear slightly, still flicking out, and still just attacking them dark spots. All right, so that's basically all my initial steps. So now what I'm doing is I'm doing some detail work. So I'm starting with my 1.5 guard, and I'm just touching up these dark spots, adjusting that lever as needed, just attacking these spots that I feel need to be hit to make this fade come out a little more blurry. And remember guys, when it comes to detailing, you can detail as much as you think you need to. I always like to detail quite a bit just to make sure my fades come out good. So I always like to start my edge ups in the middle of the head. Sometimes you may need to start it over on one side or the other due to the way the hairline is. But most of the time I start off in the middle, set my initial guideline, and I just move over and I try to follow that line all the way to the corner, and then I set in my vertical bars. And once that is done, 9 times out of 10 guys, I go back and I detail some more. And like I said before, I think this is what really sets you apart from other barbers. You know, you gotta have that eye for detail, and I think that'll take everything to the next level. All right guys, so as y'all can see, I'm starting on the other side of his taper, lining them up behind the ear, over the ear, tapping that C cup, lining it up, connecting it to the chin strap, and then we're gonna do the same exact steps we did on the other side. If y'all have any questions about any of these tools y'all see in my video, feel free to ask. If you have any questions about this haircut or any tutorials that I may have dropped in the past, any past videos, feel free to ask down in the comment section, guys. I get back to all my comments. So yeah, y'all go ahead and y'all comment below. And matter of fact, y'all let me know what y'all think of this cut so far. I think I'm putting in work. I think it's coming out nice. But y'all let me know what y'all think. If you haven't done so, please like this video one time. And also subscribe one time for your boy. Y'all know what it is. But your boy putting in work. We over here working, man. And the same exact rules apply to the edge up. So what I did to the opposite side, I'm doing to this side. I used that initial guideline and I just started moving my way over this way, all the way to the point. And then I set my vertical bar in. And then I may detail it a little bit, comb it down. You know, I always tell y'all my edge ups take me a while, and that's because most of the time I sit there and I'm tapping it, combing, tapping, combing, you know, looking at it from the mirror. And sometimes you have to do that to make sure you get these lineups and these edge ups straight. So as you can see, I'm lining up his chin strap, and I'm just trying to clean everything up and make it look nice and straight. And I did do this to the opposite side, even though I didn't film it, but I did the same exact thing to the other side. Now I'm just fading it in for him, doing some small detail work on that taper. That taper looking nice. All right, guys, so now we're starting on the back, and I always tell everybody this, man, don't stress it too much on the back. A lot of people overthink it. We're gonna do the same exact thing that we did on the left side, the same thing we did on the right side. It's the same thing we're doing in the back. The only thing that makes the back a little more difficult is most of the time that occipital bone, or sometimes we have ridges or dents in our head that may cause the taper to be a little bit more difficult. But for the most part, if you follow the same steps, you'll get a good fade, and then you just have to go back in and detail small areas that you see due to dents and head shape. You know, it's like that with tapers, with fades, with anything. I think the back is always a little more difficult than the sides. But nonetheless, we're still doing the same steps. We're trusting the process, and then we're gonna come back and detail it to make it look better. So as y'all can see, I faded up to my 1.5 guard. Now here's my 2 guard, cleaning it up. The lever is open. And now here's my 3 closed, trying to tie it all in together. And as you can see from that angle, there's some dark spots, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to clean and get rid of all them dark areas to make sure this taper pops and make sure it looks good. sometimes detailing the haircut actually takes longer than the actual process of going through your steps. You know, you got to make sure you take that time in detail. That way you take these haircuts to the next level. That way you just bettering yourself as a barber. And trust me, the clients are gonna like the finished product. Like, they're gonna love it. So as you can see here, I'm using a lot of corner blending, using the edges of my blade. Now I got my number 1 guard on there, detailing, trying to attack them dark spots. And that's what you got to do in this situation. You know, he's got a few little dents in his head that we're just trying to get rid of, so them dark spots basically go away. That way it looks all even and it looks faded in. You know, it just looks good. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this man look good. Let's go. I think this is the first time in the whole haircut that I actually used the 1/16. I've told y'all before, guys, me personally, I only use my 1/16 guard when I need it. You know, to me, it's like a detailing guard, so I really don't use it unless it's needed. And in that situation, I did need it to clean it up, so that's what I did. But yeah, guys, that's basically how I use my 1/16. But now y'all can see I'm lining them up with my straight razor, just making sure them lines are crisp. So this is how my boy walked into the shop. He was looking kind of rough, needed a haircut, hadn't been in like a month. So, you know, we had to put in work. And this is how he looked leaving. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut, guys. I think we got down. I think we hooked him up. I think the taper's nice. I think the lineup is on point. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this haircut in the comments, guys. Let me know if y'all think I did them right. Make sure to like this video and subscribe one time for your boy. Y'all know what it is. Appreciate y'all, YouTube. Until next time.